Hi everyone, Yvonne Phillip, success coach and brand stylist here. Welcome back to my channel. We're in the fourth video now in the From Stressed to Blessed series, and I hope you're enjoying the ride. So today we are going to talk about how to go from fired to hired in 10 steps. But before you do that, please share this video if you think the content will be of use to somebody else. Don't forget to comment if you have any questions or feedback, and also to hit that ding-a-ling-ling bell and subscribe for more videos in the Blessed to Stressed. No, let's get this right. The From Stressed to Blessed series. So today we're talking about something that can and may hit you at any time. You may have been fired and you're really frustrated about the situation that you're in. You're full of emotions, you're not sure what to do next and how you're going to get yourself out of the situation you are in. And the first thing that I would say to you from my experience, I haven't been fired from a job, but what situation I have been in is where I've had to close down a business. And that's just the anxiety and the fear is very similar, I can imagine, to having been fired. I've also, in my experience as a career coach, worked with people who have been made redundant or they've been asked to let go from a job. So if you think about that, there are different ways that you can be fired. It can be a strategic decision by a company to lay off people from the company for whatever reason that may be, or it can be a performance management situation where they feel that you're not quite performing in the way that they would like you to perform on a job, or it could be a mixture of the two. So if you're in that situation, I really do empathize with you. And the first thing that I would say is that you do need to get a grip of your emotions. You do need to control those. It is a very difficult time for you, and I totally understand that. But we do need to move forward and we do need to be level-headed about this. So don't leave the workplace kind of like all guns blazing, cussing off everybody and firing off nasty emails, because you may need those people in the future. It doesn't matter how much you dislike them or how bitter you're feeling at this present time or at the time or at any time. You do need to control your emotions and think about ways that you can channel that energy for good. So the second thing that I would tell you to do is to tie up any loose ends. Find out exactly the reason why you were let go and whether there is a rehiring policy or not, and ultimately, will they give you a reference? An employer can't refuse to give a reference, or they can't write a bad reference, but they can write nothing on a reference form apart from your name and the dates that you were employed. So if an employer only writes that kind of speaks volumes to your next employer. So find out where the land lies about that, and also any legalities that you may be contractively tied to in terms of working for a competitor or one of your clients, one of the clients that you've worked with in that place. So tying up all those loose ends is really important, because you don't want to get yourself into any problem thereafter. So the third thing that I would like to say to you is you do need to take accountability for what's happened, and also think about how you can grow and learn from this situation. So it may all seem like it's all on you at the moment, but you do need to this is the situation that you are in. And you may feel like just kind of like vegging out on the sofa and being swallowed up into a hole. And yes, you may go through a bout of depression, but you do need to take accountability for it and kind of like sit down and think, is there anything that I could have done to prevent this situation? And if so, what was or are the things that I would do differently in the future? You really need to take accountability, because your next employer, when you're sat down at the interview table opposite them, they may ask you why you left your last job or what happened in your last job. And you need to have a constructive answer to give them in that situation. The next thing I would say to you is, when you're thinking about that accountability, also plan without lying. We don't want any little porcupines, but we do want to be truthful, but in a positive way. So work out your explanation of the events that led up to you being fired or you being asked to leave the job. Okay, if it was a redundancy, that's fine, totally understand. But if it was under performance review, could there have been something that you could have done to prevent you not performing in that particular job? How did you learn, and how are you going to grow from that? Because that speaks volumes to your next employer, and will also make sure that you don't make the same mistakes again. The next thing, number 5, I would advise you to get character references. So these can be friends, family, professionals that you know that will act as references for you in a given situation where your previous boss is not willing or can't give a reference. You can speak to your previous employers, the boss or your work colleagues, and many of them, whether contractually they can or they can't, may give you a reference, but you need to find out and get those references lined up so that you can move forward with the confidence that you have that positive foundation and people that will have your back as you move forward in your journey. Number 6 is that you need to write a bucket list. So this bucket list is things that you want to do with your time whilst you're not working, and also of companies that you would like to work in. Companies that align with your ethos, your values, your passions, your purpose. Write a bucket list and start researching these organisations. Do they have opportunities that you may be able to fill? Are there people that you can connect with on social media so you can start building a picture of what these companies are like and whether you would like to work for them? Finding out who the hiring managers are and trying to have conversations with them also. Start building that wish list of companies that you would like to work for the next stage of your journey. Number 7, get yourself a part-time job. It doesn't matter what doing, just get yourself a part-time job. 1, so it's bringing an income into the household, because you may be without an income, and that's just one additional stress that you don't need at the moment. So get yourself a little part-time job just to keep you tiding over, just to keep you out and about in a little form of routine. It'll also keep your CV active. It's not going to be ideal depending on what you're doing, but it will keep your CV open that you have actually been doing something. The job market is a difficult terrain, so you have to be seen to have been employable all the time. Big gaps of employment do not look good on your CV or resume, as our US counterparts call it. Get yourself a part-time job. Also, do a little bit of a health check on yourself, and we don't want any negativity. Okay, so we want positivity all the time. So if that positivity manifests itself in you keeping active and busy all the time, please do so. We don't want any negative vibes. I know that you're in a really horrible situation at this time, but think, learn, grow. What can you learn out of this? What would you do differently next time? Number 9, I would advise you to get yourself a mentor. Find somebody, develop a network of people that can support you into your next program, the next stage of your life, the next employer, whether that be a professional mentor or a mentor that is, you know, a family friend or a professional that can just help guide you and be an objective ear that you can bounce your ideas off of, that you can share what you're going through with, that can give you constructive feedback. And number 10, I've been saying this all the time. What's happened to you doesn't define who you are. So I don't want you to start thinking, you know, that you're not worthy. I don't want your self-esteem to break down, because there are ways out of this. Get your CV primed, get your bucket list. You are now on your next journey. Let's go for it. I'm here to support you. Subscribe, like, share this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Stay true to you. Take care for now. Bye.